This is a story that literally brought me to tears. I think it's important to publicize it. It's the first time I heard about it. I got it off a blog called thecooljew.net. Apparently he got it off of something called Shira Devora. It's about Rivky Holzberg, Hashem avenge her blood. Sometime during the Shiva for Rivky Holzberg, Hashem avenge her blood, a young woman came into the Rosenberg home. She told Mrs. Rosenberg that she had something for her, and handed her a small package. Curious, Mrs. Rosenberg opened it and gasped. Inside was Rivky's diamond ring and one of her nicer Shabbos dresses. "How did you get these?" The young woman gently told Rivky's mother. "Let me tell you my story. I had been traveling in India. Somehow I ran afoul of the law and ended up in an Indian jail. You cannot begin to imagine what an awful, horrible, primitive place it was. The only redeeming factor is that the jails there are quite disorganized, and those who are in charge are corrupt. Somehow I managed to escape. The first place I ran was, of course, the Chabad house. Everyone knew that that's where you went when you needed help. Rivky welcomed me, fed me, and told me that it was vital that I get out of the country. I knew that, but I was very afraid. What if they would check my passport? Then Rivky gave me one of her Shabbat dresses and her diamond ring. If you look very dignified, a well-dressed married woman with the ring on her finger, they won't look too closely at you. They will leave you alone. A woman with a diamond ring is in a different class. She's a respectable woman. She's not a criminal, someone who has escaped from jail. They won't bother you." I took the dress and the ring, and as you can see, I got out safely. And now I have come to give you Rivky's dress and her ring that she lent me. Rivky's mother took the possessions of her beloved daughter. Then she told the young woman, "I recently saw Rivky and noticed that she wasn't wearing her ring. When I asked her about it, she told me, Ze b'shlichut. It's on shlichus. Shlichus means the work that they do, being rabbi and rebbitzin, to help other Jews come closer to Torah and Torah life." This is something, it's an amazing story when you consider, I don't know how it happened, but companies like De Beers have convinced us that, a ring is a sign of love, and instead of, let's say, buying, let's say, $100 band and giving the rest of the money we're going to spend on it to charity, that we should take money and invest in diamonds, and this is somehow a sign of eternal love. Okay, it's something that somehow has creeped even into Jewish life. It's a little silly. It's very silly, but this is what it is. And to many people, this is a symbol of their fidelity, of their eternal relationship, of their love, of their bond, of their marriage, of their union. This is probably, if you ask a woman what's her most prized possession, even if it's maybe not the most expensive thing, chances are she'll say her ring. So here we have a woman who, when a Jew was in trouble, just gave her a ring. She was meeting a stranger, and she sensed that the ring would do her more good than on her finger. You don't find stories like this very often, and this just adds to the mystery of their murder, and by all accounts of their torture before their murder, by most accounts. It's one of these things that it's only with the sages of blessed memory telling us that this world is simply a prosder, is a antechamber to the world to come, and that the delights of the Garden of Eden are much, it says that compared to our physical delights, what we have here in this world, they're like the defecation of angels. That's how high they are regarded in the world to come. They're nothing. And without statements like this, stories like this would be very hard to fathom, because here you had someone, besides that they were a couple that had decided to give their entire being over to God in a way of being emissaries of the Lubavitcher Rebbe to bring Jews closer to their heritage, to the Torah. You had a woman who, in a very private way, this story would not have come known unless what happened to her, gave her most prized possession readily away to a stranger because she sensed that the stranger needed it more than it was doing on her finger. No problem saying that this woman was a tzedekis, and that her merit should protect us, and that it's about time that we start learning from people like this who give of their entire being, and within giving their entire being, even their most prized possessions, just for the sake of another Jew. Hopefully the story will become more publicized, and that's it. May God Almighty bless us all to be so in touch with reality, like on the level of Rivky Holzberg, may Hashem avenge her blood, and that we're able to easily part with our even most prized material possessions for the sake of simply helping another Jew, and ultimately that we can also give our entire being just so that we can bring Jews closer to their heritage, which is the Torah that God commanded us on Sinai. Thank you so much, and God bless.